When a sea monster attacks their boat, three teenagers find themselves stranded on a mysterious island, forced to work together to survive among mythological creatures. This is Skull Island 2023. Prepare for an adventure. The story begins with a ship sailing in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. A young woman, handcuffed and pursued by a group of men, desperately tries to escape. Surrounded and on the verge of capture, she seizes a lighter from her pocket and ignites a pool of fuel. The vessel erupts in flames, allowing her to escape by jumping into a lifeboat, which carries her a few kilometers away. Meanwhile, amidst a storm, her father leads an expedition in search of legendary creatures. As the owner of the ship, he embarks on this journey with his son, Mike, who is part of the crew. Best friends, Mike and Charles have different dreams and personalities. On the boat, Boomer, one of the crew members, drops cargo submarines to attract the monsters closer. This strategy enables their team to hunt them down. One night, while gazing over the ocean, Charles spots a young girl in the water and jumps in to save her. With the help of their friends, they bring her back to the boat, where Charles inquires about his dog. The young woman regains consciousness in the control room, feeling scared and suspicious. She begins to interrogate the group, seeking to determine if she can trust them. Suddenly, they notice a distress signal in the sky and rush to assist anyone in need. Meanwhile, Charles stays with the girl, who becomes distraught upon learning that they have been using bombs to attract monsters. She believes this action may summon the creature that attacked their boat and led to her escape. Charlie hurries to inform his father about the situation just as a small boat approaches. An intruder boards the ship, searching for the young woman. Learning about the existence of the monster, he becomes excited and heads to the control room, where he discovers a man lying unconscious. The invader intended to take the girl back to the ship, but Charlie vows to protect her. However, they need to learn her story. As the invader starts to regain consciousness, he brandishes a knife, threatening the group. At that moment, another intruder appears, and when he tries to attack Boomer, he is captured by a tentacle. Shortly after, they find the unknown man dead on the boat. Boomer plans to warn the rest of the crew about the potential threat but is also captured. Suddenly, a monster emerges from the sea, dragging one of the intruders away. Mike, determined to rescue him, goes after them. The situation becomes dire as the creature attacks the ship. In an attempt to save his son, Charles's father is tragically eliminated by a giant octopus tentacle. Shortly after, the entire crew comes under attack. After freeing himself from the handcuffs, Charlie jumps into the water with a harpoon to fight the monster. However, Mike is electrocuted and thrown into the water during the struggle. Worried for his friend, Charlie dives into the sea to rescue him, but the bar they were standing on collapses and sinks into the ocean. They become trapped in a net, struggling to reach the surface. Just as they are about to drown, someone appears and sets them free from the monster's clutches. Meanwhile, on the beach, Hyro's death leaves Mike in shock, and Charlie tries to console him. However, their immediate concern is figuring out their location, as they are completely lost. Before embarking on their journey, Hyro and his son purchased a map from an antique shop. The seller warned them that the map led to an island infested with dangerous monsters, much like Skull Island. Undeterred by the warning, they set off. Now, with Hyro dead and Mike severely wounded, the two young people must find a way to send a smoke signal on the island. However, they are attacked while still on the beach by a giant crab hidden in the sand. Charlie narrowly escapes, but Mike is captured and dragged across the sand. With some effort, Mike manages to break free, and they both run towards the interior of the island. However, they soon discover that there are numerous monsters on the beach and are forced to seek refuge on a rock to avoid being devoured. A few kilometers away, the captain finds himself stranded on top of a rock. He decides to descend and explore the unknown place in search of his son. He soon realizes he is being followed by a stone, which turns out to be a mutated insect. The creature, adorned with precious stones on its belly, approaches the captain. A sniper appears and attempts to attack the monster, but is swiftly eliminated. Terrified by the attack, the captain realizes that there are other people on the island when he spots Irene. Irene runs away, and the captain pursues her. Upon realizing that the captain has no intention of harming her, Irene decides to join him in his quest to find his son. Along the way, they stumble upon what appears to be an aloe plantation, but soon discover that it is actually a gigantic turtle. When they reach the camp, the captain seeks Irene's help to find his son. In return, he promises to assist her in finding Anne, the girl she is searching for. In an attempt to distract the monsters, Charlie throws a stone into the sand and uncovers a small creature. While the creature tries to escape from the crustaceans, Charlie and Mike cautiously make their way towards the trees. However, they are quickly detected, and Charlie is on the verge of being eliminated. In the nick of time, the girl, Anne, intervenes, throwing a spear at the creature and using the harpoon to fend off the smaller monsters. Seizing the opportunity, Charlie and Mike escape when they find themselves cornered. Mike grabs Anne, and together they use the harpoon to eliminate the threat. Mike grabs Anne, and together they use the harpoon to eliminate the threat. Suddenly, a terrifying roar echoes throughout the island, causing all the crustaceans to retreat and granting the young people an opportunity to escape. Charlie, filled with fear, asks what caused the noise, but the girl admits she doesn't know because she is unfamiliar with the island. Curiosity piqued, Charlie is even more determined to uncover the truth about this place. Mike reveals that they are on Skull Island, which sends him into despair as he feels responsible for the misfortune that befell their crew. He blames himself for not warning them about the island. While Charlie attempts to comfort Mike, two armed men appear, prompting the realization that they are being pursued. The men interrogate Charlie and Mike, claiming they are after the girl. However, the duo denies having seen any girl on the island. Just as the situation escalates, the young woman arrives and swiftly neutralizes the soldiers. However, when she is about to be captured, a colossal dog appears and eliminates the assailants. As they attempt to escape, they witness soldiers being devoured by a mutated crocodile. Fearful, they continue running, with the creature hot on their heels. In a desperate move, they leap into the water to evade the predator. Unfazed, the crocodile chases them through the forest as they follow the current until they plummet down a waterfall. Yet, the determined crocodile persists and jumps into the water. Just as it seems the boys are doomed, Kong emerges, capturing and devouring the crocodile. After his meal, the giant gorilla departs, leaving Charlie and Mike to emerge from the water. Determined, the group ventures further into the island in search of a way to escape this bizarre place. Meanwhile, Cap accompanies Irene and her team as they tirelessly search for the girl. While navigating through the undergrowth, they are pursued by a colossal bird, resulting in one of the men being captured. After fixing their tracker, they manage to send a rescue request, and several hours later, a helicopter arrives. However, before it can land on the island, a colossal creature with tentacles destroys the aircraft. Faced with this setback, Irene devises a new plan to escape, ordering her team to contact a boat while she and Cap work on luring the girl. In the midst of their survival efforts, Amy, Charlie, and Mike search for food. Mike becomes increasingly aware that his wound is worsening. As they climb a tree and take cover, their dog patiently waits for the opportune moment when a bird approaches the boys and attacks. It becomes evident that they have been used as bait to attract breakfast. After their meal, the group continues their journey through the forest, discussing possible ways to escape the island. However, Charlie is captured only a few minutes later, and Mike quickly realizes his absence. He goes back to search for his friend and finds Charlie trapped in a spider's web. In a daring move, Mike descends to rescue him, and together they witness the skeleton of a gigantic spider. Suddenly, another spider emerges from its burrow, startling the trio. Charlie lies on the ground, feigning helplessness, while the creature approaches. He screams for help, and their loyal dog arrives, chasing away the arachnid. In the meantime, Irene and her team venture into a garden of giant flowers. Unfortunately, Irene becomes the prey of a carnivorous plant, but one man swiftly destroys the stem to free her from its grasp. With the immediate danger averted, the group moves deeper into the forest. However, their progress is interrupted when the dog senses the approach of armed men. Fueled by a desire for revenge against the mercenaries who attacked them without cause, Charlie and Mike decide to confront them. Charlie hides in the bushes while Mike, accompanied by his dog, launches a surprise attack on the men. Despite their efforts, the duo becomes surrounded. As they search for Irene, who is their primary target, the girl falls victim to a tranquilizer dart and is rendered unconscious. Enraged by her best friend's state, Charlie rushes to her side. However, before Irene can capture him, a falcon swoops in and captures the dog. Still concealed in the bushes, Mike witnesses the events unfold and realizes that Cap, the captain, is assisting the group. In response, Irene orders her team to scan the area and Mike makes a decision. He surrenders himself, believing it to be the best course of action, with the intention of allowing Charlie to escape and return to rescue them. After informing Cap that his son is safe, Mike joins the group at their camp. Meanwhile, Charlie is ambushed by a masked individual who gives chase. Determined to evade capture, Charlie leaves his hiding place. However, he is ensnared by the falcon and taken to the top of a crumbling building. There, he encounters the dog and forms a pact to help each other survive. Promising to assist in the rescue of M, Charlie convinces the creature to use its claws to descend the tower. Their escape plan takes an unexpected turn when a giant gorilla appears, startling them. The dog slips, but manages to cling to the edge before reaching the ground. Charlie seizes the opportunity to observe Kong up close and notices the profound sadness in his eyes, though he momentarily dismisses it and focuses on finding the dog. Back at the camp, the group is taken aback by the sight and sound of a flying whale above the island. The massive creature eventually lands near Kong's palace, leaving the gorilla to contemplate its significance. As the darkness sets in, Mike's strength wanes due to his chest wound, and he loses consciousness. When he awakens, N pays him a visit, and both attempt to reconcile their differences in order to help Mike recover. Meanwhile, Charlie walks through the forest alongside the dog, who is sniffing the trail in search of their friend. During a conversation, Irene inquires about N's past. She recalls an incident from 10 years ago when she was just a child. Stranded on an island with her father, they were surrounded by a monstrous creature. In order to protect her, her father left her alone in a hiding place to face the beast. 2 hours later, she had to bury her father, as both he and the beast perished. That day, the young woman discovered that the giant dog also had a pup. The girl, trying to open a package of sausages, had her food stolen by the small creature. However, instead of devouring the food, the animal decided to share it. From that day forward, the duo became inseparable. In an effort to slow the spread of the poison in Mike's wound, Irene gathers a plant from the forest and creates a medicinal concoction. She then invites him to step outside the tent for a conversation. It is there that Mike decides to reveal the whole truth. Irene discloses that the girl is actually her daughter. For all these years, Irene believed her daughter was dead until a fishing vessel spotted M on an island and sent an alert. However, minutes later, the vessel vanished. Determined to find her daughter, Irene used all her resources to hire a team to search for N. When her group approached the girl, they were attacked by the dog, which forged a deep animosity between them. Just a few meters away from the camp, Charlie and the dog devise a plan. Charlie intends to set fire to a tree, drawing the attention of the soldiers in order to rescue N and the others. However, as he takes the first step of his plan, a horde of terrifying creatures emerges and attacks them. In the midst of the chaos, Charlie fights against the creatures, making his way towards his best friend. Just as the young woman is about to be harmed, the dog intervenes and eliminates the threat. Minutes later, Charlie and his father reunite with Irene, who is being attacked by the beast. Irene orders her security guards not to shoot, and at M's request, she apologizes for the harm she caused the dog. Moved by her sincerity, the dog forgives her and leaves her be. Inside the tent, Charlie is with his father when one of the soldiers from the camp is attacked and dragged into the ocean by a colossal sea creature. This prompts Charlie to come up with an idea to enlist Kong's help in eliminating the sea monster. Years ago, the gorilla had saved a young girl from a giant lizard in the forest, and the two became great friends. The girl belonged to a native village on Skull Island and had a strong bond with Kong, as well as a deep affection for Falcon. One day, the three friends stumble upon a creature with a shattered body in the jungle and decide to investigate its cause of death. They soon encounter a group of bloodthirsty chameleons, and despite warnings from their friend, Kong decides to engage in battle. Dewey, in a state of despair, follows after the girl to protect her. The redhead manages to pierce the chameleon's tongue with her spear, but she is struck by its tail and thrown off a cliff. In a split second, Kong leaps to catch the girl, but he is unable to reach her. It is Falcon who swoops in to save her, preventing her from certain death. Kong returns to the battle, using all his strength to defeat the chameleons. However, another adversary grabs Falcon's feet, attempting to bring them down. The bird manages to break free in the air, but the girl is dragged down with her body pierced, falling onto a pointed skeleton. Despite her injuries, the monster tries to devour her. Meanwhile, Kong continues to fight his final opponent, slamming it against a large stone wall. As cracks propagate and rocks begin to fall, instead of running away, Kong rushes to save his friend and catches her just in time. With the trio now safe, the redhead becomes furious and blames Kong for the near-death experience, believing it was all due to his failed plan. Angry, she storms off, and the two friends go their separate ways. That night, Kong bathes in the ocean to cleanse his wounds, but the scent of his blood awakens a sea monster, Adore, the king of Skull Island. Throughout the night, Kong keeps watch over his friend's village, and the next morning, he attempts to reconcile with the girl. However, she orders him to leave. Later that day, while out fishing, the boats suddenly start to disappear. Upon seeing people approaching, the young woman screams in despair. Though Kong is asleep, he manages to hear her cries and rushes to the beach to aid her. Along the way, he encounters several dead humans and is shocked to find his friend gravely injured. The monkey is tempted to seek revenge on the monster by entering the water, but instead decides to carry the girl's body to a safe place while she is still alive. As the redhead asks for his forgiveness, she tragically passes away. The following morning, Kong digs a hole to bury her and keeps her necklace as a memento. From that point on, the enraged Kong wears the necklace as a symbol, harboring a great anger towards those people who took away all his joy. Charlie's plan revolves around using this necklace to lure Kong to the ocean. In this way, the two titans will have the opportunity to confront each other in an epic battle, leading to the destruction of the people. The boy suspects that the sea monster lures Kong into the water by shooting whales at him, so it is likely that the monster will appear when Kong enters the sea. Charlie convinces M to help him execute the plan, and the entire team mobilizes for action. Concerned for her daughter's safety, Irene tries to persuade her not to go after the boy, but the young woman is filled with excitement for the adventure and disregards the warnings. A few minutes later, the trio arrives at Kong's throne and is startled by the gorilla's presence. As they steal the necklace, they are chased, and the dog is knocked down while crossing a bridge. Fortunately, the dog manages to dig its claws into the tower and continues its escape. To lighten the load and allow the beast to run faster, Charlie decides to stay behind, promising to meet them on the beach. From a distance, Irene and her team observe the pursuit, realizing that her son is not with the girl and her dog. Irene rushes into the forest to intercept him as he nears the sea. Just as Kong surrounds them, the young woman throws the necklace in the sand, distracting the gorilla. While she bends down to pick it up, Kong is attacked by the sea monster and dragged into the ocean. Kong struggles to free himself but realizes his opponent is larger and stronger than he anticipated. The creature grabs Kong by the neck and hurls him away. Meanwhile, in the heart of the forest, Charlie is attacked by a centipede, but Mike comes to his aid and helps him defeat the giant insect. Exhausted, Mike faints and then carries him while catching their breath. Kong continues to face relentless attacks and rushes to save his drowning dog. Charlie races through the forest towards the beach but falls into a trap. Once again, he encounters the masked human, but this time there is someone else with them. A female voice declares that the boy will suffer for what he did to Kong. At this moment, Kong has been dragged to the depths of the ocean, where the people attempt to drown him. However, the resilient gorilla manages to break free and uses a boat as a weapon against his adversary. He swims back to the surface, delivering powerful blows to his enemy. After the battle, Kong is weak and injured in the neck. He sees the dog struggling to swim towards him and decides to save it from drowning. This act reminds him of the connection he once shared with humans. Now safe on the beach, the two friends embrace, and the girl apologizes for luring Kong into battle. Suddenly, the mutated people reappear, filled with rage. The creature once again drags Kong into the water, but this time Kong retaliates by throwing him onto a rock and unleashing a series of powerful punches to his head. After securing his victory, Kong asserts his dominance as the king of the island, unleashing a mighty roar while pounding his chest. However, in a surprising turn of events, the monster launches a tentacle attack, striking Kong's right eye. Determined to ensure the demise of his opponent, Kong splits the monster's body in half and hurls it into the sea. The impact creates a powerful wave, and amidst the chaos, the two friends try to escape. Unfortunately, they are engulfed by the water and the duo is separated. The girl loses consciousness after hitting her head on a rock. 2 weeks pass, and she awakens to find herself in a hospital room, feeling disoriented. Opening the curtains, she realizes she has been brought back to the mainland, leaving the treacherous island behind. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more interesting movies.